So, hello, my friend. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello there. My name's Mr. Redley. I'm a DJ, presenter, and aspiring producer, I guess I would say.
Awesome.
Yeah, I live in North London. I work with Apron Records. I present a bi-weekly, usually not during lockdown, but currently a monthly electronic new music radio show on Reprazent Radio, as well as presenting for the likes of Mixmag, recently We Out Here Festival, and some other entities. So yeah, kind of a man of many different
Man of many hats.
hats, indeed. Yeah.
And how are we connected, Louis? Remind me.
We're connected in a number of different ways. I've been following your music for about 5 or 6 years. I was actually sent some music from Thule I think it was last year, a year before, kind of got me back on to your music again. And I recently just finished your More Music Done course. So
Awesome.
we're having this chat right now.
That's what we're talking about today. Nice link. You're obviously a professional. So tell me, dude, can you describe sort of how you were getting on with your productions before we started working together?
Yeah, I mean, before we started working together, I was kind of struggling with trying to finish music. Wasn't too sure about where to go with ideas that in my head, were good, but I didn't know where to take them to the next stage, and how to finish them, and how to trim out the fat. Sometimes that's the thing that keeps you from finishing tunes, and just being able to start new music, on the fly. And so we had a conversation about ways in which we could kind of combat that situation, and we went from there, really.
So how did the processes and the kind of systems and things that we went through on the course, how did that help you in terms of I don't know, your way of working or the results that you got?
I think in a way it made it, one of the key things is kind of just getting over that mental block of I can't do it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the key mantras of the course is just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. That's right.
Right. and it seems so simple, and when you're speaking to yourself about it, it's like, oh, I should just sit down and stuff. But having these key simple messages, like, reinforced, like, week in, week out, with different how do you say, methods in which to get yourself in the right place, really did help me, overcome that challenge. And in terms of the processes, it was a case of, okay, you've put this in, you've put that in, but you feel as though it doesn't necessarily work. Why is that? What are the things the track can't do without, and what are the things which you're a bit impartial about? And that's usually that piece is kind of the thing that's kind of keeping you from, like, pushing through and finishing the tune. That's the fat that you need to trim. And then once you realize that, and you use those kind of methods, then you start to see, oh, okay, actually, like, the door kind of opens a bit further, and you're making more music.
Yeah. So. Wicked. Awesome. And were there any beliefs that kind of changed for you during the process? So was there anything that you believed at the start? I mean, you mentioned sort of thinking that maybe thinking that you couldn't do it, or whatever blockage that was. Were there any changes as a result of coming to get involved in terms of?
Yeah, I think so. It kind of made me think, that it's possible to, lay down some cool music. It doesn't just have to be, I don't know, it doesn't just have to be house music or this or that. It allowed me to be like, oh, I can make this, I can make that. I made a couple of hip hop tracks really quickly. One was better than the other, but it took me hours, not days.
Days is a good line. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Which apparently, you know, it's the same with you. You only take a couple of hours to put most of your tunes
But
together,
that could
right?
possibly be, yeah. I mean, maybe not a couple of hours. I'm currently working on something. I'm up to version 6. You know, and we talked about 6 versions in the
Yeah.
course. I've actually called it version 6B
There you go.
because I don't want to go. I don't want to go over version 6. It will be finished. I will
Yeah. Yeah, for
it's,
sure.
was there anything that was holding you back from getting involved? Was there anything that you were thinking about, or was there anything in terms of, I don't know, potentially stopping you from coming and getting on board?
The hardest thing for me was the pricing because I make most of my money from DJing. But we made it work, and that was the key thing. And because I thought, you know, the course was right for me. I've done more kind of practical production courses in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and this was more about dealing with states of mind and the ways in which you kind of tell yourself that you can't do things because of this reason or that reason. And it was about getting over those things. And in the end, we worked out a way that I could come on the course, you know, and sort of all that. And that was, I think, you know, that was really key. That was my main barrier to entry, but we really made it work. And I'm grateful that I was able to do the course with you because it has really helped with my
Oh,
production.
awesome. Well, I'm grateful you came along, man. Wicked was, and I guess my final question was there any sort of key takeaway or key highlight for you from the 6 weeks that we worked together?
Yeah,
Anything?
I think, you know, you have to go into it with an open mind. Um, be be prepared to, you know, think outside the box. It's not your traditional course for sure, you know.
Yeah.
But and it's not for everyone, but it definitely helped me. And I think, you know, if you get the right people involved, it can be really, really positive for them in helping them build themselves up in with their production skills and the way in which they tackle going into the studio and making music.
Wicked. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. The dog has just literally started whimpering down there. I don't know why that was. Amazing, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Very welcome.